having to become the new media out there. You had a viral video. Which one was that? That was with the gas jugs at the beginning.
Yeah, that was really, really fun. I opened up my camper door just on the corner of Metcalf and Albert, and all of a sudden we noticed all these people were going by with jerry cans, and I ran up the street, and then I captured them all, and just what a fun thing that they all did. And I put it to the Sinner Man music from the Thomas Crown Affair, and people really seemed to get a hoot out of that.
Right on. So you actually camped there. You were staying in the streets of Ottawa, the dangerous streets of Ottawa.
The dangerous streets. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. For the last 2 years, I've had a lot of difficulty sleeping through the night, sometimes getting up 8 times a night, not getting to sleep, waking up midway through, getting up too early. And in Ottawa, I slept like a baby. And it's just been incredible. I've been sleeping through the night ever since.
It was the humming. It's the humming of those horns.
The horns, think, right? Yeah.
Yeah, there's something about that, actually. I really love it.
Huh? Are we good?
So you saw the nighttime there. The nighttime must have been pretty dangerous. What did you see at night?
I'm not sure what you guys can hear or whatever.
Walking around. I know what I saw. We saw a lot of people just walking the streets, patrolling to make sure everything was all right. Anything crazy happened
like that
you saw?
For me, I was really busy during the day with my initiative looking after the four-wheelers. And so when nighttime came, I was ready to go to bed. And so for me, I didn't spend too much time walking around, past 10 o'clock. But when I was, knocking on the doors of the cars to drop off my pamphlet, everybody was just great. People were serving up food. People were hanging out. Everybody was in great spirits. Everybody was just having a good time.
Okay. That's all that place was to me. I loved it.
Yeah.
Oh, Michelle, thank you very much. We actually never met. We're going to meet in the future. I'm hoping, of course.
He loved it, except when he got the phone shot out of his hand with a rubber bullet. When he was standing beside me on a barricade.
Did you see anything? Did you see a swastika flag maybe running around there somewhere, or any of that kind of stuff?
Sure. So I arrived with the Western Convoy. So I've been here through the whole thing, the convoy coming out west and arriving in Ottawa. On the first day in Ottawa, I did notice a Confederate flag, and my brother was with me, and my brother went over to the gentleman and he asked him to please take down or put away the Confederate flag, and that wasn't appropriate. The man did not do it. And then we watched several other people going up to him over that next half an hour that we were in that space. And the only thing that I saw that looked like a swastika, there was actually in the first weekend, there were signs, and they were signs of needles in the shape of a swastika. And I think that is maybe what people saw. And after that weekend, those signs were
like
taken
it would make
out
a freaking difference anyway.
Okay, out of commission. People just didn't use
some
that
individual
anymore.
Comes into a great
I
big
kind of
group,
just
has
doing
nothing
a
to do
play.
with
They
it,
ran
wants to
that
make them
same
look bad, put swastikas on a flag, and all of a sudden the whole group looks bad. Come on, folks, we got it.
And they ran that, and that's what they kept repeating in the parliament.
Yeah, that's the only one. And I didn't see that one live in person. I just saw it in the media news cycle over and over and over and over again.
Well, right on. Thank you, Michelle, for everything you did there. Thanks for keeping heat on our truckers and their puppies and their children and everything.
And one thing, if I could just mention,
absolutely.
I just wanted to let everyone know that Tamara is out of jail.
Yes, she is.
I spent the day at the courthouse.
Check it out earlier.
I'm actually.
Well, we didn't really record it because that would have been illegal.
It took a lot longer than we thought it would. So I'm actually in the Clan Mothers Hotel room. This has been Ottawa. I've been in so many strangers' hotel rooms.
Interesting.
So I'm in the Clan Mothers Hotel room, and they are all downstairs celebrating her release.
Oh, beautiful! Why? How did she get released? I thought. I thought they were pushing this thing off. Though I haven't been keeping up to it. Was today supposed to be the release date, or?
Dude, we were in court. We watched it virtual.
Jim. Sorry, go ahead, Michelle.
I had friends that were inside the courthouse. I stayed outside, and she was granted bail. As far as I understand, there is a publication ban, so we don't know how much it was for, whether there were any conditions, or who posted the bail. And I'm sure we'll find out soon enough. But she is well. She looks good. She's in good spirits, and she's surrounded by all the people that love her, virtually and physically. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Michelle. Thank you for everything.
You're welcome.
And Jim Kerr. Oh, yeah, let's just go straight to Jim Kerr.
Yeah, like the thing today.
One sec here, Jim.
But Trudeau's enforcers just took it from him. They also seized fuel, which the truckers were using to keep from dying in their cabs overnight. Watch.
You take those cans off of that truck. Is that your property? It is now. So you have the right to take gas cans off of a trucker's truck. Is that correct? It is correct. According to what? Aiding and abetting criminal? A criminal offense. So now when you have gas cans on your truck, it's a criminal offense. This guy's name's Trudeau.
Wonderful clip. That one went around forever and ever, Jim. Thank you. And yeah, good to see you. Great to finally meet you. We've kind of been friends on social media here and there. I don't even know if you knew who I was before. I definitely knew who you were. And yeah, you're one of the most fascinating humans I know, and I'm grateful to have met you, my friend.
Okay, brother. Well, when you came into my scope, there was two distinct things that happened. I don't want to see my face. I want to see you. There you are. Hold on. How do I do that?
Oh, damn. I want to see you.
Well, I want to see you. It's okay. What everybody else sees. All right. So, why did it? No.
No, it's whatever. Whenever I speak. It's whenever I speak. It's going to automatically go there.
Okay, whatever. I'll look at this small screen. Dude, you came into my radar when my wife is pulling me down from a cement barrier saying, come on down, come on down. And I'm like, she never acts that way. She usually allows me to do whatever the hell I want. But evidently your phone got shot with a rubber bullet right beside me. And then I live streamed that stuff, saw you getting shot with a rubber bullet. And I'm like, ooh, maybe we're into something I didn't really know we were into or whatever, dude. So like, no, for real, right? And then when you were inside the restaurant, the iconic cafe, yeah. I'm watching that stuff on the road, wondering what I'm going to do next. And I'm watching you eating muffins and drinking tea while the cops are threatening to smash down windows, and some random business owner is like, no, man, you're not getting in. Dude.
Yeah.
Woo! You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. That was epic. Those people are beautiful. Those people were epic, and that's what everyone should understand, what those people did there. Of course, their business is closed now. It's for other reasons. But what they did was the right thing. They just blatantly said, no, I'm not opening the door. You just told me you're going to bash the window. I don't trust you. I will not open the door. That was perfect.
They had no experience, and they did it perfectly because they stood on their own ground to say, whatever I see in front of me doesn't make any sense. I'm not going to help you, nor am I going to acquiesce. They stood their ground and they won. It seems like that happens. It's awesome.
You were actually my go-to guy, Jim. Whenever I was feeling a little bit too much of the pressure, I'd flip you on. You brought me back up all the time. But I watched you, and that's what you were doing the entire time there. You kept bringing people's spirits up. Everyone you walked by had smiles on their face. What did you see out of that entire thing we lived through, whatever we want to call it? It was
my God. Okay, so somebody, and I can't remember which one it was, that was speaking earlier, was talking about how when they saw it all, they just kind of were overwhelmed with emotion. It might have been Rob Primo, I'm not sure. When we were here about a month ago for Bear Hug #1, and there was about 50 to 100 cars, I don't remember. We went around Trudeau's house, played some music, people thought it was great, and then we came back again thinking something similar would happen, but when we came back, there was thousands and thousands, and it wasn't us that started it. So when we finally came back and made it to Confederation Park, and the very first time I went up on the hill, and I looked at all of the trucks and the horns, I literally, okay, I'm not a religious person, spirituality is very important, but I'm not a religious person. Man, I fell down on my knees and I cried. I just wailed. I was like, oh my God, all of these people from different backgrounds coming together for the same damn reason, even though they wouldn't express it the same way, was overwhelmingly overwhelming.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I felt. I shed a tear more than once on this journey, right from the convoy, seeing just driving up and seeing all the people littered on the entire highway, the whole length of the country, even through the barren landscape of Ontario. You'd see in between Kenora and Thunder Bay. Nobody lives there, but you'd see every little road that attached. You'd see a bonfire, a couple of sleds, people drinking beer, flags, and it was incredible.
Okay, so like I didn't see that because I only went from like Toronto to Ottawa, but what I did see was at it was like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. It was a bridge that no pedestrian traffic is supposed to go over. It's a snowstorm. It's dark as hell, and there was one individual, and I don't know who you were, but you were very close to Kingston, and it was in the middle of but nowhere, and you were waving, and I saw you, and I don't know how many of those yous there were, but what a like.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's loads of those experiences for sure. Any violence, any swastika flags in your paths? Any of the nasty stuff that these lovely politicians of ours have put on repeat on the stand in the House there?
Okay, I don't know about all of the other things, but the very first thing you asked was about the violence. Yes, I saw violence from both sides.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely, I did. I saw the violence of individuals that were on the front line expressing themselves, and that violence was not exclusive outside of me. I exercised that violence at times because I had violent thoughts and inclinations within me that I vented upon those police officers that were trying to do their job. Now, yes, they're only trying to do their job, and yes, they're only trying to keep us safe, and there are good cops and there are bad cops, but the good cops become bad when they allow the bad cops to do the bad things, which is what I saw happen. So yes, I saw violence perpetrated by the police. I also saw violence perpetrated by individuals in the crowd, but it was it was using your words. Somebody else used it tonight. Okay. I don't want to use my words. I want to use my camera and let other people use their words, because when you use your words, you can be condemned. You can be, all kinds of bad things can happen. But when you use your words and don't follow up with physical violence, this is not violence. But anyway, so I'm in there somewhere, and that's all I got.
Well, and the same thing, like I saw a few people get lit up and angry, but what I saw out of the whole group and the people that were there is they tended to that person. If someone did start getting like angry and you could physically see that they were going to get angry, the rest of us would go in, calm them down, and hey, maybe you shouldn't be at the front here then. Maybe skip to the back there.
And it happened to me, and thank you for those people who reined me back in. But
Awesome,
as far as
Jim.
physical, absolutely not, brother. I mean, if you consider throwing flowers at the feet of those with batons, pepper spray, and rubber bullets being violence, well, yeah, that's about the extent of it.
You animal, you didn't.
I just filmed, man. I do nothing. I just filmed.
Hey, right on. Jim, we're so thankful. I'm grateful to have met you there, and we're going to cross paths again. I know it.
Church of Bubbles loves you. And I echo all the sentiments of those people who said that when you were on the streets, it was the first time you found those people who are your family, friends, and that tribe you've been looking for forever. Dude, we found it. We started it. Canada started it. You folks started it. And the whole world's on fire as a result. Damn, I couldn't be happier.
Beautiful. I love you, Jim. Right on. Okay, we're going to move down here. We had some, we've got Todd from Winnipeg Alternative Media.
Hopefully that was.
Sorry, I thought it was going to play.
We're about to use more tear gas right now. Watch out, they got more tear gas going. Watch out, watch out.
Freedom! 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 Oh, there's another one. We are Canadian citizens. This is a peaceful protest. Look at this.
How much of that kind of footage do you have, Todd? Todd, welcome. Tell everyone who you are, where you're from, and what you saw while you were on those streets. You must have saw a lot.
Yeah, sure did. Yes, hello. Thanks for having me, Kyle. Yeah, it's I'm from Winnipeg, Manitoba. Winnipeg Alternative Media. We kind of got involved with the whole convoy situation before getting involved in the convoy to Ottawa situation, as when the convoy from out west in BC was still kind of just getting together and starting to hit the road. The first border convoy happened here in Manitoba, which was a slow roll at the U.S.-Canada border in Emerson. And I was there filming that at 3 a.m. on January 20th or January 21st, somewhere around there. And then from that point on, of course, it became pretty glaringly obvious that we would, of course, join the convoy as it hit Manitoba and then onwards towards Ottawa. Yeah, that footage that you just saw there, I have a few hours of that footage as I kind of self-sacrificed, I guess, enough to spend a lot of time on the streets in those nights leading up to the Friday and Saturday with the official kind of police pushback. I started hearing a lot of rumors from some trusted individuals on the Wednesday to kind of, keep your ears and eyes on everything. And so I, spent a lot of time on the streets, a lot of long nights, just kind of getting a bit of rest in a couple tents or a couple different vehicles, and then watched the setting up of all the gates around Parliament and sort of the huge beginning of the police presence around the Chateau Laurier. And so then I kind of knew to check out that area early on Friday, and sure enough, I was right there when everything started, right there, ground zero on Friday, and ended up getting kind of kettled into that area and that whole situation. The footage you saw was from the next day, Saturday, when, of course, they were way more aggressive, moving up Wellington with, the tear gas and the smoke bombs and the rubber bullets and all that fun stuff. So no shortage of that footage. And that was, it's going to be a struggle to not repeat what every presenter, what every guest of yours has already said this evening, right? Everything that happened on the Friday and the Saturday, of course, was, an absolute disaster to see, and one hell of a roller coaster to watch it kind of end like that. I still love how Saturday night there was that wonderful dance party that still kind of had then the police pushed back, but then regained as a dance party again. So it still got to end on a positive, I think, overall. But regardless, everybody knew that all of the unifying, and all of that had already taken place for, 3.5 weeks or so, and that, the job was already done. It was just sort of like, what was the ending going to be? And, can we still make it positive? And I'd say, of course, we certainly did, to have all that dancing and all that cheering going on right with the riot police just standing there staring at the crowd, I thought was a perfect dichotomy for the 48 hours leading up to that moment. And of course, again, I'll be repeating what everybody else said. The 3 weeks leading up to that was, just an incredible experience. Like Jeremy was saying, oh, by the way, I should salute the fearless leader of Diagolon if he's still watching. I think there's a special salute. I think it's the third rock from the sun thing. Maybe, I'm not sure. But it was a pleasure meeting him out there as well, too, and Kristen and a bunch of others as well that I had only known virtually until then. But yeah, that it was an amazing, sort of example of Canada, really, a lot of that real true spirit that I think a lot of us Canadians, whether you've only been here for a year or two or your whole life and your third, fourth, whatever generation, really believe this country to be, and, our perspective of freedom to be. And that was certainly the streets of Ottawa for the duration of the month of February. Did I see any violence? No, not really at all. Saw some shouting matches between some of the more, I guess, like angry residents of Ottawa when they would come down to kind of yell. I wouldn't even call it. I kind of missed some of the actual counter protests as well too. Seen footage of it, but some of the residents that would just kind of come down around some of the crowds and yell a little bit. Sometimes you would see somebody kind of bite a little too hard back on that and kind of get into a bit of a shouting match. But as we all know, that was always calmed down by the crowd. Like the amount of times that you actually had to see police take care of any sort of, more typical altercation that you see in large crowds and large events, right? Like, a drunken fight, a heated argument, anything like that. Even if it was starting to escalate like that, any one situation, the cops never had to handle it. It was handled by, the other peaceful protesters around.
Yeah.
And police officers signed off on that multiple times that was the case. We've been around here watching things, but we barely had to, put our hands on or jump into anything, right? Continued to be the case until you got to that third week, when it was getting close to weekend number 4. And then you had the obvious sort of changing of the guard and the tone of the police as well, too. You could kind of tell that they had probably done a lot of work behind closed doors to rout out the guys that were just being too damn friendly, especially when they were on camera. I'm sure there was lots of interesting meetings happening with the OPP and the Ottawa police and just everybody they were bringing in. Of course, that equal to why I'm sure they had to go bring in people from all across the country. Sort of like, hey, who is your most heartless officer? Can you send them, please? Thank you, because we have caring individuals right now in Ottawa, and it really sucks. It's been 3 weeks. Click,
Yes, it's exactly for sure. That's what I saw there too.
I think you could feel it change. You couldn't necessarily see the policing change until it was like almost a little too late. They crept up really good and slow with how they just made that big final push. Gates up on Thursday and then go on Friday. But you could feel the change from just the demeanor of a lot of the officers. The looks on faces. The general PR. You could totally feel it.
And that played a part on us. Like we could feel that as well. Like after going through the first few weeks of all the love, the kindness, the hugs, the everything, and then you actually felt the vibrations just drop out of everything. But we kept it up. Like you said, with that, the big party, that was the best thing I think I've ever seen in my life. It's just everyone's getting beaten. Okay, the beating's done. They put the cage up. As I say, we put the cage up around the politicians, and then we began dancing.
I love it. Yeah. And I agree. Yeah. And that was an absolute beautiful sight. Saturday night, even though there was a little bit of chaos there, and then they peel back behind the gates again. And everybody just kind of even celebrates that as well too. That was perfect. That was really, really good. And I want to mention this as well too, because I guess it's one thing that I wouldn't be repeating yet, is a little example of the unity. And I think everybody, up to this point, everybody that I've spoken to, even people that weren't there, agrees with this analysis. So I'll hope that everybody here listening and involved in this does as well too, is that throughout the course of that month in Ottawa, it's like you could especially notice it every weekend. The Fridays and Saturdays would always be, of course, the really big events. And by weekend 2, by weekend 3, you start to see so much more fleur-de-lis mixed in with that Canadian flag, mixed in with that maple leaf. And then you start to hear a lot of those conversations as well, too. I mean, I had so many conversations with Quebecers and French Canadian about, a year ago I was Quebecois and now I am just proud to be Canadian once again, Yeah. And so we all started talking about how hey, wow, I think another one of the silver linings that just occurred here is we might have killed the separatist movement. And I want to just throw that one out there as well, too.
Perfect. Thank you for doing that. That's awesome. Right on. Okay. Thank you, brother.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, absolutely. All right. We are going to move on to Big Bear and Patricia Prince.
Hello, Canada. Colin Big Bear Ross here from the Big T Nation. So this is what a small fringe minority looks like, eh? They got some nerve on the news, don't they? Yeah! Apparently 125 trucks showed up today from Alberta. It looks like about 500,000 to me, doesn't it? But to get down to business here, ladies and gentlemen, this is about freedom. This is about the future generation. This is why we're here. All right? This is a global problem. We got big pharma pushing all these pharmaceuticals on us. Our body, our choice. This is where we make our stand.
People from all colors, all races, men, women, whole families coming together. And the thing that hurt me the most earlier this week was when our Prime Minister was talking about our Canadian people, Indigenous people, people from all colors, all races, being Nazis, being racist, being white extremists. And I've witnessed it right from Prince George, BC, clear across Canada to right here in Ottawa. And I can stand with assurance that this is not what that is. And that's not what it is. And I also came with drums, and I was able to give those away, so there was 2 drums.
Hey, beautiful, you guys. Patricia, we're going to start with you since we had you on there last. Thank you so much. I got to see you a few times speaking. You were on the stage speaking a few times, and we were very grateful for you. Maybe you can cut right into the fact that they were saying there's nothing but racists. There was nothing but, like, I don't even see color, so I couldn't see anything that was kind of pertaining to racism there. Did you see anything, being an Indigenous woman? Did you see anything like that?
No, I haven't seen anything of the sort. I traveled from Prince George, British Columbia, and so I was able to stop in at every single one of the stops along the convoy, so I participated fully. And I didn't see anything like that. And I was met with love at every single stop. I was met with joy and with happiness, and then of course with food.
Yeah, lots of that.
There was always somebody that was, a group of people that were, like preparing spaghetti dinners, and, we had food everywhere, all along the way. And so the only time that I had ever, witnessed anything really negative was just usually on social media in the form of lateral violence. And it came, honestly, the majority of it came from my own people, in the form of lateral violence and gossip and assumptions. We're kind of out of town, so the Wi-Fi is not the greatest.
That's all right, but just on that point, that's a very good point, because that was the only really downfall of any negativity that actually happened, was people that weren't there, the people that were behind the computers. They were spreading and sharing all this stuff that never happened. Nothing really happened other than a whole bunch of people were loving each other, having a great time, eating great food, and then the police showed up. That's my overall small way of seeing that, but yeah. And how long you were there? I believe true. Since the beginning.
Yeah, right from the beginning. So I've been here right from the beginning. I'm still here.
Good. You're a trooper.
I think we're talking.
Yeah, it's all right. Here, I'll
Can
move
you hear
over.
us now?
Yeah, that's a little bit better. And what did you see while you're there, Colin? This is Colin Big Bear Ross, everyone. He was a big voice there. He was up on the stage more times than not. And a great, so grateful to have met you there, and grateful that we have a voice like both of yours. What did you see while you were there, Colin?
First and foremost, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to give a shout out to the truckers and everyone who helped organize everything. I have so much love for all of you and all the people that came from the east to the west coast to come together, united as one, from all countries, all cultures, all nations. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life, and probably will ever see in my life again. So it was such an honor to be there, especially I'm from the Métis Nation of Alberta. If anyone knows any history on the Métis, we had a genocide against us. In 1887, Louis Riel was hung against a tyrannical government that was laying siege on our people. So it was such an honor to be there and honor my ancestors, and first and foremost, the future general. And I was just so touched. I have endless amounts of stories of talking to children, talking to, old grandmas from Quebec, just beautiful, beautiful people, just showing so much love. They were hugging me and thanking me, and we were all just hugging each other. The bouncy castles, one of the hits of the whole thing, right? The people speaking, the dancing. It was just so incredible. It's like we built our own conscious community right downtown Ottawa, based on love. It was like having our own healthcare systems, our own education.
Yep.
We just we did it right.
Mm-hmm. That's what it felt like. Like, it felt like everything was put in place. If something wasn't there for that moment, it showed up. Like, it was almost like, if you build it, they will come, and when they get there, they're going to bring some more things we need.
Yeah, and that really touched me, because I'm actually building an off-grid Indigenous healing lodge in British Columbia right now. We have a mountain out there, so it was like, it gave me so much vision to what I'm going to do out in BC, to really take the love and the message and the learning back home, so I can carry on what this bright light that was beaming out of Ottawa started.
Yay. I grabbed a chunk of the fire and I brought it back here. I'm going to drop it in little places as I go here. That was amazing. I loved it. Oh, anything else you want to add right now, Colin? That you felt anything stand out that you saw? Any violence? Any horrible flags? Any I don't even want to say what Mendocinos. Any trucker rapings?
Yeah, I didn't see anything. I didn't even see any hateful flags. I didn't see any of those things like that. I was on the front lines every single day. I got pepper sprayed twice. I got billy clubbed by the police. I was pulling guys out of the line who they were trying to tear in and arrest. I seen the Mohawk woman. I was about 10 feet away from her when she got trampled by the horse. We were pulling people out of there who were getting pepper sprayed. But I want to make this clear, though. I was right on the front lines with the police, and you could see a large majority of them did not want to be there. It was very shameful for them to be there. And then there was another majority of the police that they got a kick out of beating people up. And I thought that was very sick, and I thought that was very wrong. It kind of disgusted me, especially the military guys that were standing back all armed to the nines. That really bothered me, that they were so ready to go, and we made it very clear to them we were there in peace, and they got a kick out about beating us up, and that was disgusting. But
but it's
the world needed to see that, right? I got beat up, and I kind of liked it. I like it rough,
Yeah.
So the world needed to see that, so they could see the truth out of all this, right? So it did us a big service, and and this is an information war now about truth, and that's what was my part in this entire operation, was spreading truth, becoming the media, helping to drive this movement forward to the best of my ability, so I could get people informed on what was going on, and it was a beautiful thing to be a part of. So thank you so much.
Right on, Colin. And we've all kind of had to become the media. This is like, I'm a carpenter, but now I had to do this, which they're gonna regret. I wanted to just build stuff. Now you done it. All right, guys. Thank you very much, Patricia. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you, Colin, as well. We're gonna move to. Oh, we've got Travis Cross from
So they were talking
TV.
about the police being all kinds of evil and stuff, and they had evil intent. I don't think they did. They were just doing their job. Whatever, their training prevents them from giving a crap. OBS, stop streaming everywhere. I love you. You're amazing. Love this guy. My social media manager. And he's awesome. Love you, Zach.
Hey, right on, Travis. That looked like a very violent crew there. I'm glad you got out of that one without getting rubber bulleted and all that kind of stuff from the people.
Thanks, Kyle. Yeah, I appreciate it. You know what? We're all this talk of the independent media too, and it's awesome to see everybody gathered in this room to recap kind of those events of the day. And that was an amazing day. That was the last day of the Jericho March out there, and it was a really special time because the energy really shifted after Trudeau brought in the Emergency Act, and he didn't meet with the truckers. When we left Salmon Arm to get out to Ottawa, I actually anticipated there'd be a conversation at the end of it all, and that never happened. There was no conversation, and it ended up switching so quickly from that Friday and Saturday. Just the energy, right? It was building, but I don't know, maybe that there's something powerful about that Jericho March too, because it seems like it revealed a lot of truth about the politicians. And the mainstream media wasn't doing their job. They've got all these resources at their disposal, and they couldn't be out there telling the stories that really mattered, or they wouldn't, or they just chose not to, right? We all know how that goes. So you've got all these independent journalists, all these independent citizen journalists, and everybody coming together with their phones out and capturing everything. I found it overwhelming because there was so many opportunities to take pictures and shoot videos and talk to people. And I'm just glad that everybody had their phones out and everybody was working together.
Well, I think you alone, Travis, with the footage, you were running 3 hours at a time, like 2-3 hours with your footage, just continuously rolling. There was 3 of us doing it for Not TV. And even just between us, we have all the proof and the evidence out there. What we have out of this panel is just compiled evidence as to what really happened there. So
yeah, I got to thank you, Kyle, for that too, because it's so significant to be able to create that record and to hear everybody's voices. So thank you to everybody that was out there filming. And I just couldn't say it enough to, get your phones out, live stream, take pictures. We're just sharing this. This is all public footage. And, that's how I feel about it anyway. So I was out there trying to, record as much as possible. And thanks for putting all this together, Kyle. I really appreciate you bringing everybody together. And I just wanted to reemphasize the mainstream media's lies, because I went back to the hotel room at one point, turned on CTV, and right at the bottom it said insurrection. And I couldn't believe that they were really pushing that, and they weren't really showing the full scope of what was really going on.
Right. Well, right on, Travis. You're stuck with me now, bud.
Look forward to the next one.
Hey, awesome. All right, we're going to go next to someone who is pretty much a national treasure at this point. We've got Kristen Nagel.
6 and 3-year-olds are in the hotel room watching over this right now. I was a nurse. I gave up my job because I spoke truth. I got fired for speaking truth, and I took that risk. My husband's a teacher. He also took that risk. We both were unemployed now, and we had to sell our house because we made the right choice. What are you doing? You're just hiding behind your pension? This is the Canada you want your kids to grow up in. Your grandchildren? Does this moment make you proud? You're on the wrong side.
Hey, beautiful Kristen Nagel, everyone. We are very fortunate to have her on the front lines. She is the frontline nurse. Hello, Kristen.
Hi. Thanks for bringing me on.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for every single thing you've done. I got to hang out with you quite a bit while we were there, so I was fortunate. I had to hide behind you so you could protect me once in a while. And you are a fierce warrior and a true mama bear. We appreciate you. What did you see out there, Kristen? What was your biggest feeling out of that whole entire, don't even know what to call that whole episode. It was amazing.
I'm trying to think about what was not talked about, right? Because it's all the same. I think one of the first things that I remembered arriving there, because I came in with the South Convoy on the 28th. We left on the 27th, and we arrived in Ottawa on the 28th. And I just remember looking around and looking at the crowd and the overpasses, like just the overpasses getting to Ottawa were incredibly overwhelming, just to see people finally coming out, people stepping up, people that had not been saying anything or talking about anything. We're posting stuff on social media. We're out standing in the cold for hours on the side of the road on these overpasses. And, you know, finally voices were coming out. People saw the strength of the numbers, and people were no longer afraid to speak truth. And I was honored to speak on the stage on the 29th when we first got there this Sunday. And I just I started crying because I just looked around at the size of the crowd, but the trucks. You know, as Canadian frontline nurses, we've been trying to speak truth for a long time. You know, Rob Primo said most of us speaking truth kind of already knew each other from the start. And it just felt like an upward battle. But to see the enormity of the trucks is the symbolism of we have arrived. We have woken up the lions. People have had enough, and there's no going back from this anymore. So I see it all as just such a positive thing that Canada, that fire was sparked, and we knew that this convoy, at least I didn't know it was just the start. This wasn't going to, you know, solve all our problems at the, you know, all at once. But this was the start of finally people speaking up, people finding their strength. It had, you know, what we're calling the Ottawa effect. People all over the country, the world are rising up now. And so this is just the start, and this is going to be ongoing. And so that was kind of my takeaway, is just, you know, we've talked about the love, the abundance, and anything that was needed was there. Anything anybody needed came in an overwhelming abundance. And finally, I realized too, the weight. I didn't realize how heavy everything has been on, you know, my shoulders, everyone's shoulders the last 2 years. We've been so blessed where we are in London with, we have such a strong community for the kids, but there's still a heaviness in the world. And that got to finally lift in Ottawa. And it was like, oh my gosh, we can breathe. Look at this. Like, look at Canada. Like, this is something that I think we can all be so proud of. And it was unbelievable. And it was just undescribable.
You got that one viral video that you went, not one, everything you seem to have done out there was going out there, and that's important, and that was important. Everyone on this panel had so many things that really got out there, so it's important for us to be around when we have to deal with C10 and C10/11 coming up here soon. Did you see any of the nasty stuff, Kristen, that the media's been blasting out there, and these politicians standing up on their podiums nonstop, spewing and repeating what the great King Trudeau was spewing? Did you see any of that?
No, absolutely not. I think we've all kind of summarized the complete and utter lies that it was. And one of the things I do want to touch on that it hasn't really been mentioned yet is the kids. The smiles on all the kids that came out and got to participate. This was a family event, and it was just so amazing to see all these kids living their best life, smiling, laughing, connecting. I mean, bouncy castles, cotton candy, street performers. My boys had an absolute blast. We saw these little girls. Clearly they had been, you know, dancers, and they were just living it up. I have this amazing video of them, very talented, and they're just performing for the crowd. And I think, you know, our kids have been suffering a lot. And I think to the point where we probably don't even realize the amount of burdens that have been placed on them. And so to me, my biggest takeaway was that this was for them, and has been for them, and will continue to be for our future generations. But the kids finally got to be kids again, and the kids finally got to live freely. And that's something that I think we need to kind of always remember and know what we're fighting for, because that was the most beautiful thing, to see these kids living their best lives with so much joy.
Absolutely. That was the thing that brought the biggest smiles from me, because it's been a while. Like, you almost feel depressed when I've gone over to friends' houses, you see their kids, they're just sitting there moping on their phones, you see that. And that was actually what I remembered my childhood of, when you're hanging out with other kids, how everyone was just, it was the most incredible thing that I saw there. And it's all about the kids for me as well. We're all here to make sure that our future generations and our children are not going to have this crazy life they're intending for us here. And it's because of people like you, Kristen. So we thank you dearly. Anything you want to get out before I jump over here. I've got
I just want to give a thank you to everyone that is on here tonight, because holy, did you ever make my Ottawa experience just so incredible. It was amazing to meet all of you, to give you hugs, to know you, to stand on the front lines with you. Austin always had my back. Coming back home, my parents commenting, they're always watching. If it wasn't my feed, Austin's feed, and they were trying to even type messages to Austin, like, Austin, get her out of there. They even were using him to look out for me. But Michelle, I have an epic picture of her, literally giving the officers the Care Bear stare down. Palminder, Rob, Jeremy, Sean, Monique, Big Bear, Patricia, just everyone. Thank you so much. It was such an honor to meet you all. Todd, sorry. And I love you all so much. And I know we're going to be forever connected. So thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Kristen. We love you dearly. All right. And next we have a beautiful soul. We've got the Viking, Sean J. Zimmer, everyone.
How you feeling today, Sean?
Best damn day of my life. I say that every day, and I mean it with intent. I'm alive. I have air in my lungs. I get to have another day here. I have all the memories of my past, all the hard lessons learned from my past, and all that knowledge, wisdom, breath to make the most out of the day I have here. That's how I live my life, and I tell you, it's been a really good life, and especially being here, having my heart open by Kyle here, Tristan, all these amazing people. Definitely suggest you all get down here. Just the ripple effect for being here and what that will do for humanity is such a beautiful thing.
What a beautiful soul. Sean J. Zimmer, everyone. Sean's hopefully still on here. He's in a convoy right now, but we're going to bring him on. Sean, are you there?
Cal, we might have to wait. I think we dropped his call.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he's not in the room right now.
Well, that's all right now, because it looks like we did get our youngster here with us, Mr. Austin, Shots by the Hill. Maybe we're going to just roll his clip here, and we're going to go to Austin if we can get Sean back on here, which I'll text him right now. Let's just roll. Let's go roll the clip for Shots Austin here.
Would you accept this gift from me to you? You're the last officer in the line, so I'm going to leave these at your feet. And when you decide to trample everybody in front of you, you're going to disrespect a nice set of flowers on the ground. That's for you, and it's a gift of love from me to you and to all the officers on this line. I know you guys have a job to do, but you guys also have the right to stand up against what's going on, and you guys have the right to cross this line and stand with us, to fight for the freedom of your children and your grandchildren. You guys seriously need to think about the kids and the future of the children. This is not the future, guys. This is brutal. There's innocent people getting hurt. An elderly lady was pepper sprayed and had to get carried up the street by 4 gentlemen. It's uncalled for, man. This whole thing has been peaceful.
Younger generation, thank you, Austin. Oh, and your last name is Hill. Sorry, I was trying to get that all day here, so it's good. Austin Hill, everyone. Thanks, Austin, for joining us. We know you're busy. Ottawa, Ottawa was big for you, I think.
Yeah, man, 100%. So how's everyone doing today? I'm glad I could, be in here to speak to everybody out here, all the beautiful people that are in this call right now, the amazing work that they all did out there on the streets of Ottawa, you included. I actually got you in one of my lives when your phone was shot with the rubber bullet. And to top it all off, I still have a piece of the rubber bullet that was actually...
Come on!
Shot.
I got a big mark on my forehead. It hit my phone, hit my forehead, and then ricocheted backwards there. That's great.
They end up picking that up, but that was after the gentleman beside me got shot in his temple with it, and it was very sad to see the police brutality that took action in Ottawa there from the Friday and the Saturday. I was there Friday morning. I believe it was around 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning when the cops were setting up on Wellington down by the Tim Hortons there. And I was there from that start of the push all the way down to the Chateau Laurier. I was in that front line on Friday the whole day. I think it was at just past Sussex there. And they came in strong with a strong police line there, and the batons were out. There was no tear gas on the first day that I seen when I was on that front line the whole day. It was just batons and them trying to push their way up Wellington. But there was numerous elderly people and females that were actually on that front line holding the fort down. And me, I didn't want them in the front line, so I did everything I could to get them behind me. Because I seen a lot of people get injured. I seen a lot of people get assaulted by the police, and it was super brutal to have to witness firsthand, and you couldn't do anything about the situation, because as soon as you went to go move in on the lady or an older gentleman that was on the ground, you were getting pulled to the ground by the police. You were getting smashed with batons. You were getting punched in the face. Like it happened to me on the front line. I was hit with batons. I was punched in my face. I was thrown into cars. I was shot with tear gas. I was grabbed by SWAT. All that stuff, and it didn't stop me from standing toe to toe with those police officers for that whole day on Friday and that whole day on Saturday, man. And it was really sad to see like the actions that took place just from the police department, and it was very sickening to see. And I also want to add into what Kristen was talking about there with the kids, because the kids weren't talked about enough. There was so many of them, and me being parked where I was on Wellington and Elgin there, I had so many younger kids come up to my pickup truck and hand me notes. And I actually have like a whole booklet just filled with notes from kids coming up to my truck on the streets, telling me thank you so much for standing up and fighting for our freedom. And there were so many younger kids too that came up to me and said, I feel happy again. I feel like a kid again. I can breathe freely without having to wear a mask and all that stuff. And it was just to be able to see the excitement and see the joy on all the kids' faces that were out there on the streets of Ottawa from, day 1 to day 23 when it all ended. And, it was just amazing, all the attractions that were out there for the kids and all the people that came together just for each other, like it was incredible, absolutely incredible. Like it leaves me speechless on my experience out there in Ottawa. And to top it all off, there was the whole thing going around with the frozen bank accounts and all that stuff. And I was one of those people that had his accounts frozen with my banks and my credit cards due to the fact that, I was taking donations, and we gave it a big lump sum to the truckers, a total of over $20,000 given out to the truckers, which was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, man. Wow. You're a superhero to me. And you know what? You attracted the demographic that we've been missing this entire time here. And the younger folks like yourself. We're very fortunate to have you. Sorry, I'm freezing up here. Is that just my picture or sound as well?
No, your sound's good.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I'm frozen. That's cool. At least I had a cool pose when I froze here. Yeah, Austin, I didn't get to spend as much time with you. You were out there beating the street. You must have loads of footage that you took there, because a lot of your stuff went viral. A lot of your stuff went around there, and you got a lot of attention that was needed from the ground out to the rest of the world there.
100%, man. And like you said, lots of footage. There's actually gentleman that lives out by me that backed up all my footage onto hard drives and USB sticks for me. And, we got a total of over 250 hours worth of footage.
Wow.
I was out there every day for 8 to 12 hours a day, live streaming. I was eating once a day. I'd forget normal life because I was just focused on live streaming. I was just focused on getting the views for the people that are out there, so people could see what was really going on in the streets, because the mainstream media putting out that we're racist and terrorists and all this other stuff that they were saying about us on the news, and showing all the negative stuff that was happening where they were filming it. I actually ran into a paid actor on the streets. It was quite funny. I have it all on live. It's all documented, it's all recorded. You see a gentleman doing a news report with one of the news stations, and they were speaking in French on the side of the street, and I was sitting there calling them fake media, this is paid, why don't you guys show the truth on what's going on out here? And I just kept repeating myself, and I put myself in their camera shot too, so I was on the camera. And they said whatever they said. I don't speak French, but pretty well sum it up in English. They said, okay, we're good with the interview. You know, you can go on with your day. And the gentleman proceeded to put his mask on, the guy that they were interviewing. The camera crew packed up. They took off to the right side of the road towards, I believe it's Bank Street there. And the gentleman that they were interviewing followed him across the street, and they went down an alleyway to start filming again. So right there, show that you have a paid actor right there. And then there was another incident too on top of that where same thing. I was up on top of that. I don't know if you know that little hill thing that was there at the corner of I think it's Sparks and Wellington.
Okay, yeah.
So I was up on top of that and I was filming a camera crew.
Yeah.
And same thing, you know, they were trying to do their thing. The lady was reading her piece of paper, and you see a guy come into the scene there. He undid his jacket, his police vest underneath. Phone call. And
play back here.
Come in, ran at the media crew with his hands above his head, trying to be violent towards the media crew there. And I ran down the hill after him, and I told him, buddy, like, you know, you got to keep the peace. You got to keep the peace. We can't be doing this no matter what the situation is. That's what they want. They want us to turn to violence. They want us to show that, you know, one sign of frustration or anger, and the whole, you know, 20 days that we were there for was there for nothing, because it's what they wanted, and they couldn't get that out of anybody on the street. Nothing but peace, love, and happiness. And there was actually one scene, I think it was on CNN or CTV, where they show footage. There was a homeless guy getting arrested on the side of the street, and I actually have it all on live video. They put on, the headline was protesters trying to attack police, and they show a scene where there's a gentleman with his camera out, and he's trying to take pictures of what's going on the street, and he's yelling at the cop because the cop came up and put his hand right in front of the guy's camera and like pushed his camera almost out of his hand. And the guy started yelling at the cop, telling him, don't touch my camera, don't touch my camera. And I seen it going on, so I ran over and I started pushing the guy down the street, and I told him, buddy, keep the peace, keep the peace, keep the peace. And I just kept repeating myself. And they used that scene on CNN or CTV. It was one of the two, where my one hand's up behind me holding the cop back, and my other hand's pushing the guy down the street, telling him to keep the peace. But on TV, it makes it look like, you know, I'm trying to go after the cop, and I'm trying to go after a protester, right? But then, I have the footage of me filming, saying, you know, keep the peace, keep the peace, keep the peace, and also showing the cops. And that same time there, I was filming from about 7-8 feet away from the cops, and I was showing, like, you know, the one officer took the guy's shoe off his foot and stood on his feet, bare feet, both feet of hers on top of his bare feet with her boots on. And, you know, they were standing on the guy's ribs. The guy just wanted to walk, and they were trying to carry him, and he kept trying to repeat himself, I just want to walk, I just want to walk, and they wouldn't listen. They dragged him down the street. And when I was filming, one of the officers ran over and elbowed me in my stomach and put his hand in my face and tried to push me down the sidewalk. And I told him, buddy, like, you know, you don't have to touch me. I'm not doing anything wrong. You know, I'm 6 feet away from you guys and all this stuff. But, you know, they, like I said, and one of the other gentlemen spoke on it earlier, that you could see the cops that were just there to release their anger and go after that were on the street. Prime example on Saturday. I don't know if you've seen the clip that went around of me getting attacked by the SWAT officers. There was a clip where me and Sean there were on the front line, and the cops were pushing up, and I was trying to shake their hands as they were pushing us back. And I could see in the background the SWAT officers kind of grouping up, and they were coming in because they were targeting streamers like you and I and everyone else in this call. And me and Sean were right on the front line there, and you've seen the SWAT officers plow through the front line there, and they grabbed me by my shoulder, and they grabbed Sean by his chest as well, and we both got away, thank God. But it was definitely a scary experience, man. And, you know, I wouldn't trade anything in this world to have that experience. Like, you know, I'm glad I was there, and if chapter 2 gets written again, best believe that I'll be on that front line again from start to finish.
Yeah, brother, all around from us. Yeah. We'll all be there. I guarantee every person on this panel will show up. And like I said, you guys, I got lots of room at my place. You guys might have to come out to BC. We're the only one with the mandate still.
Yep. But being in Ottawa is more battery packs, more chargers, more socks.
100%.
All of those things, because that's one thing. Like, you know, I was there for, I originally was only going for 1 day, and I ended up staying the whole 23 days. And, you know, I slept in my truck for 2 of those nights. I was in hotel rooms after that, and I was in a pair of running shoes, you know, with a streamer out there called Not a. You guys probably heard of her. Her and her boyfriend were out there. They were killing it. And, you know, they reached out to me. They bought me a brand new pair of boots, and they said, you know, put these on because you're out here putting in hours and your feet are getting soaked. I got frostbite on my toe. Like, it was crazy, man. Crazy.
So just for, if you're tuning in right now, this is Austin Hill.
Grateful to have met you. Grateful that we've got some younger generation standing up and doing what's needed right now.
Yeah, man.
If you're just tuning in, this is all of the
people that are in here. I just want to show them a little update with my tailgate here that was on my truck.
Oh, I saw this. He had it off the truck.
Sorry, you're gonna have to explain that.
So this is the tailgate off the back of my truck.
Yeah.
And I put it out on Wellington Street, and I put a bunch of Sharpies out there, and I had all the people walking around signing it. So,
that's awesome.
A piece of history right there, man. And I was gonna get my truck like all the other people were doing out there, but my truck's wrapped, right? So as soon as I get a bunch of signatures on it, and I change my mind on the color and I peel it off, it's gonna be garbage. And all those signatures will be for nothing. So at least I have a piece of history now that I can keep with me for the rest of my life. And I'll never be able to forget the experience that I had in Ottawa, nor will I ever forget that experience, because it was one to remember, and it definitely opened my eyes on a lot of things that are going on in this world.
Right on. Thank you so much, Austin. We needed that. We need you. Right on, brother.
Not going anywhere, man. I'm here to stay.
I don't think anyone on this panel's going anywhere, and especially the next gentleman here. Sean, we already saw the clip. We see you're back on here. Yeah, we saw you hand out roses, and yeah, at one point we had Kristen, and then Kristen left us for a minute, and then there was just the two of us, burly, hairy men handing flowers to the police, and well, that just didn't work the same way. How are you, brother?
Hey, folks,
hey, I'm doing well.
if you're going to share this out, make sure that you add a title to it, because more people will watch it.
I'm just on the road here.
If you're going to share this out, make sure that you use a title so that other people will watch
it. Way back to Winnipeg. Stop by quite a few times, man.
Yeah. Your sound's pretty horrible right now, Sean. Just so everyone else knows, he's actually a fast talker, and right now it's coming out all slow-mo. Give it one more shot here if you could.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's actually perfect. Sorry.
Okay. All right. Great.
Yeah, that's good. Well, what did you see out there, brother? What did you see out there? You were one of the guys that got to hang out with them
that were there in Ottawa.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of people. I saw a lot of unity. I saw people come and sharing that with community, putting their selfless desires aside to help people, to stand up together, to come back to our roots. And it was a beautiful thing, my friend, an absolute beautiful thing. Exactly what I've been striving to do where I'm from in Winnipeg, building community, bringing people together to understand that we can stand for our freedoms and our freedom of choice, our God-given rights and freedoms, and do so in unity, with peace and love, and stand against a tyrant. And it was nothing but beauty all around. It was definitely a changing experience, and I know just the ripple effects alone from those that were there, passing on that ember, that torch that they were able to ignite in Ottawa, as they pass that on across the world, is going to change humanity right now. It already is. The world watch.
If you're loving it, love it.
Take that stand and do so with peace, and share it on all of our live streams that tens of millions of people saw. And at the same time, simultaneously, they saw mainstream news showing the opposite. So unfortunately, it didn't wake everybody up. We still have a lot of people in denial and sleeping, but fortunately, it woke a lot of people up, and it was really, really good. And, for me being there, I was, the first couple of days, I had a sign that said free hugs, and I was out there giving hundreds of hugs to people, making sure to give them good ones, give people the strength to stand, know that they are protected there, that they have men who are there taking a stand and are doing so with the best intent of everybody, whether a man like myself is being hated or praised for it, we're there standing. So I was doing free hugs, and then started helping get some funds to families of the truckers that were in need, as they had bills to pay for, food to put in their children's mouths. Obviously, my bank account got frozen for that, as many did. It's still actually frozen right now. And, beyond those little speed bumps that I had that we all faced, and as we all face in life, it was nothing but a beautiful ride for me. I look at everything that happened was good, and we were successful in that approach. And unfortunately, that a lot of police did take that stand against us and back up a tyrant, an overreaching government, and I already know many of them resigned right after that, and I think we'll see more and more of them do exactly that. I hope so, because our taxpaying dollars shouldn't go to paying their PTSD from having to push against our human rights and freedoms. I know it bothered a lot of them.
Yeah, man. Sean, I was actually a recipient of many of your hugs out there, so I appreciate, I imagine what you were able to give out there. You are a beautiful soul, a beautiful man. We are so fortunate to have someone like you out there. Kristen was, oh no, you got to meet Sean. You need to meet Sean. You guys would, But that was fantastic. You put a lot of footage out there, and a lot of that went around, and a lot of it got the attention, got eyes this way for people to look to see what was actually going on in Ottawa. You, with the rest of us, and what we have combined here with the amount of footage, is getting entered into the history books. We are the ones who are now writing the history. We're not going to leave it up to these politicians, and we're not going to leave it up to this crazy lying media that we have right here. Anything else you want to leave? You probably got to hit the road and get back on the road there.
Yeah, we're just pulled over at the top of the hill here, where we got a service just an hour out of Thunder Bay, making stops to share a good word along the way back to Winnipeg, and that word is to take a stand, come together, stop playing victim, looking at a broken government to fix this for you, stand together with peace, love, and unity, raise your vibration, and shine so brightly, so damn brightly, that those sitting in the darkness have a hard time not getting up and starting to at least do a zombie walk over to you. And as that light gets closer and closer to them, you shine brighter and brighter. We'll change the world together. That's my message for you. Stop wasting your energy where it's not well spent.
We love you, brother. We love you.
Yeah, we love you.
Love you, Jim.
We love you, brother. Freedom. Hold the line.
Freedom. Love you, brothers. Love you. Love you all, brothers and sisters.
I love you too, my man. You know that.
Lots of love. Lots of love. Love you all. Love you all.
Love you all.
I missed this.
Yeah, we're gonna do it again. Don't worry, we got more tyranny going on, Palminder. There's more tyranny. We're gonna do this again.
I appreciate y'all. Leave you on that note. And again, I'm here at your disposal. Hater or praise, I'm here for you guys. I know all of you are as well.
Right on. Okay, what are you saying, Jim? Come on in and say. Oh no. Okay.
I love you.
It's freezing. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Sean. Here, I'm the last one up. We're gonna get this finished up here, you guys. I actually told Not TV that we'll do it in under an hour. Let's see if we can get my clip going here. There.
I already shared it all over on all different platforms. So.
Oh yeah.
This all has to change, you guys.
Oh, we're having a little issue there. All right, on, but Yeah, that was I had to throw that one in. I didn't even realize what I was doing there. That one went around a bit too. So between all of us, you guys, we have the proof, we have the evidence. Travis and Not TV is going to start compiling this stuff. We're gonna try to get everyone's footage into one little package that we can send in as a teaching lesson, a teaching tool. We will gladly pay our taxes for you politicians that are watching this right now, and I know a lot of you are going to watch this. We want you guys to sit for 4 days and watch all our footage so you can actually see what transpired there before you get up onto that podium, spew a whole bunch more lies that put us back into a bigger hole than you've already put us in. You messed up these 2 years, guys. 185 of you got some serious answers to give us here. So, but on that note, you guys, I'm gonna wrap everything up here. Oh, I guess I should tell you what I saw there, and I'll be pretty quick so everyone can get on here. To me, that was what I've lived a great life so far. I've lived an exciting life. I've made the best out of my life for its entirety. That hits the top shelf for me, like the absolute top shelf, because it gave me full faith in humanity again. Like I said, I was hanging on a thread before, and I was just like, I'm an eternal optimist. I've always been. So I was hanging on that thread, kind of, yeah, we're gonna do it, you guys. And then the trucker thing happened, and really, then I just got. I got the biggest wind ever, and yeah, I don't know. I'm lost for words. You guys have used all the words here so far. So.
Freedom!
But it is, and we have so much work still to do. That was just the start. That got us to the start, is how I see it. And we got so much work to do. These politicians that are going to be watching this, they have a lot of work to do as well. So everyone, let's all keep working. I'm going to finish this off, guys. I'm going to play 3 important clips. One is from the corporal, I think he's a corporal, maybe, I don't know, maybe the police chief of Winnipeg. The other one is from Catherine McKenna getting caught speaking about the truth as to what happens in the parliament. And the Marco Mendozino clip. He's accusing things like rape that are happening there. Yep. We could have played all the politicians that did the lying, but that would have taken up a full 2 hours here. So we're going to leave it at Mendozino.
That's right.
We're going to play
Do
that.
we all get to comment on it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. We'll come back right after we play all 3 of these clips. You guys just have a look, and then we'll come back for a quick little quick comment each, and then we'll shut her down here.
There are going to be people whenever there's a protest who are not happy with the position of the protesters. And I think in the climate we live in now in 2022, there's a fair degree of polarization. I can tell you that while people have made comments that they do not feel safe downtown, we have officers who are on scene 24/7. I've personally spoken to many of those officers who have said consistently the same message, that this is one of the most reasonable and most welcoming group of protesters they've ever encountered. That is from frontline uniform officers standing on Memorial up into including senior officers who've been in negotiations with the leaders. So while I understand that people are saying they're not happy and some people feel that the situation is intimidating, I think that is not to be unexpected when people hold vastly differing views, but that does not mean that the feelings of intimidation are actually based on reality or actually what police and law enforcement would view as intimidating. And we see examples of intimidating behavior all the time. I think we are pretty good at being able to assess the difference between what is in fact real intimidating behavior and what are perceptions. And I don't want to minimize those perceptions, but we can't alter people's perceptions. Our attempt is to keep everybody safe, and we've been able to do that.
I actually gave him some real advice. I said that if you actually say it louder, we've learned in the House of Commons, if you repeat it, if you say it louder, if that is your talking point, people will totally believe it.
Like, I just don't understand how you could be saying on one hand, there's all these strong ties and this is a national emergency for public safety. And I walked every day by these protests. It just doesn't really add up at all.
Minister, sorry, just 10 seconds, Minister.
Well, I would say first, it's not an insinuation. We got the advice from our law enforcement that we met the threshold. And secondly, Ms. Dancho,
put us in danger in that way,
respectfully,
to
Ms.
be
Dancho,
honest. Like,
there
that
were Ottawans who were subjected
very
to
irresponsible to
intimidation,
me.
harassment, threats of rape. I mean, and those were all supported by.
Well, how could we have
charges,
possibly been allowed to walk by that every day?
Yep. Well, bless that cop for speaking up. There was only a few of the chiefs that were obviously paid to say the things they were saying, but there's still many good ones out there. Catherine McKenna, thank you for your great service you've done to your country, exposing your people in that lovely house up there. And yeah, here guys, let's we'll just go through the line here. We'll start with Rob for last closing words here. Give us about a minute here or something, Rob.
Yeah, well, I mean, that clip of Marco, you know, he's just what I would call a gaslighter. I mean, he just likes to make up names and he likes to call people names that are completely false and by no means have any sort of truth to them. I know everyone in this group knows that, but I hope, you know, the audience watching this interview realize that as well. Because, you know, he's gone from racist to homophobic to rapist. I'm pretty sure every name in the book that is like the worst name you could possibly be called, he would continue to call us. And his reason for doing so is because when they came in with the stormtroopers and they kept poking the bear, poking the bear, poking the bear, they were just hoping so much that they could have a violent reaction that wasn't inside all of us. We were there for love. We were there for peace. We were there for unity. We were there for togetherness.
Damn straight.
And we were there for community, and we were there for our brothers and sisters. And if I had the opportunity to move to a village with everybody who was in Ottawa at that point, I would move there and I would stay there for the rest of my life. So awesome. You know what, Mr. Mendocino, you can keep doing your thing, and you can keep saying what you do, and you can come at us with brute force, and we'll come at your people with hug, and you know, you guys can threaten us, and we'll sing music. So you can keep doing what you're doing. We'll keep doing what we're doing, and at the end of the day, the people are going to know who they want to be with, and it's not going to be you.
Right on. Thank you, Rob.
And then one last thing I want to say, and just to our viewers watching, I know I don't need to say this to any of the people on the screen right here. If there's anything I've ever wanted to do, it's to empower others to let go of fear and stand up for what's right. I want to make sure we all do this. And now that we have more numbers, we need to do this more than ever, guys. This is the great awakening we're in right now. We need to do everything to help awaken the people around us. And we have to let go of fear. And the next time there's an event, or if they ever try and lock us down again or any of that stuff, we're not going to let it happen. We're all going to rise up at the same time. Because if not, they just pick individual people off. And of course, I found that out the hard way.
Right on, Rob. Thanks, brother. Monique, anything you want to add in for this last little bit? Is Monique even with us? Is Monique with us anymore?
There we go. Sorry, I was muted.
Oh, no,
yeah,
sorry.
It's really difficult to watch our politicians and leaders use the rhetoric that they're using. You know, the anti-mask, the anti-vax, and now misogynist, racist, all that sort of stuff. We had Jagmeet Singh say that we were denouncing the Islamic religion because we were at the convoy. Justin Trudeau, obviously, what he has said about us. And then Marco at the end there. I speak on behalf of myself, but others, like that video that I did with the father and his kids, where I have never felt more safe in that crowd in Ottawa than I have in my entire life. I actually was with Jeremy one night, and again, like it's so funny how they use all this language towards us, but that I was discriminated against. I wasn't allowed into an Uber because I wasn't wearing a mask, so I had to walk home at 4 o'clock in the morning, and you know, I felt totally safe while I was there. So it's so unfortunate that you know, they are just absolutely blatantly lying, because that's not at all who we are, what we are, or what we experienced. We experienced the exact opposite, and so did the kids, right? They were just those kids even said themselves they've never been so happy or felt so safe. That father said, you know, I'd leave my kid by themselves here anytime because he knew that they were in good hands. So it's disheartening, but that's why we're here, to show the people the real truth. So yeah.
Thank you, Monique.
But yeah, anyways, want to say again to you all, I hope to see you, and it was such a beautiful experience to be with all of you there. Yeah.
Likewise, from all of us, I'm certain of it. Paul Minder and the crew.
Thank you, Carl, first of all, for doing this, and I appreciate everybody. We still feeling the same vibration we felt at the convoy, so thank you for doing this. And the last clip you just showed about their lying, you know, I just want to say one thing: love the way you lie, right? So we still have love in our heart for everybody. We know they're just writing the scripts, they're not doing it by heart. And on the front line, we were there on Saturday. I met Kristen there, and everybody was there. We witnessed the police officers, like 25, 26 years old. They were like being pushed by their superiors to take the action. It's recorded on my live. And this guy, I asked him, are you guys being threatened? And you can see that on the video, this guy literally nodded, because we were having this conversation, love, we love you, follow your heart, your mind is stupid, stuff like that. And you can literally see those cops, good cops, they were crying at the front. And we recorded it on the live. They literally replaced that police with another one because he was almost gonna give up. So this is what I witnessed on the last day. And the politicians, or Trudeau and Jagmeet, we wouldn't even call him a Singh. And he does not represent his turban, his last name. He just become a Jagmeet. That's it. And yes, and I have made videos on him, right? So you guys all seen it. So thank you so much for doing this. And this convoy, we learned a lot from 3 weeks. And what's our victory here? We already won, right? How? First, we proved the whole pandemic that it was a pandemic, because 3 weeks without masks and without social distancing, we are hugging each other, loving each other, you know, partying together, no COVID cases. Second thing, we proved that how corrupt the Canadian government and politicians are. Like, we are doing something else there, and our great dictator, Mr. Trudeau, he did not show up for a talk. It's in Canada. I'm not talking about India. I'm talking about Canada. He did not show up on the table to talk to the truckers. So this proved that he could not face the truth. Third thing, we proved that mainstream media, we already always complain about Indian media. They are so corrupt. They've just do the one side story. And I did not expect this in India, in Canada, and we seen it. Mainstream media did not show anything from the convoy. They're just showing some imagination stories, some people, right? So we won these people, and now the next chapter is chapter 2, and we will do our everything to win this war against the tyranny, and we're doing all the programming within our community to spread the awareness out. And because this convoy already sparked the light of love throughout the whole world, and whole world is waking up. And this is a big victory for all the Canadians, for all the truckers. So thank you so much for doing this. I'm still feeling the same vibe of Ottawa vibe. So thank you so much. I love you guys so much. We love you so much. Big hug for you, all of you guys, and we love you so much. Let's do this.
Right on. Thank you so much, guys. We're going to see you at the next one. I'm certain of it. We're going to move on to Jeremy.
Hey, Jeremy had to jump out.
Oh, did he? Okay, good. Or not good, but Michelle, throw you on if you have something you'd like to say for the last minute here.
Sure. So first and foremost, seeing everybody's bright, shiny faces and hearing your voices has really just touched my heart. I felt that the exodus out of Ottawa was so abrupt, and it was so hard to leave.
Yeah.
When we did and how we did. It was a brutal couple of days being on the front line. One thing, if this is a message that is going out to the politicians, the message that I have for them is this. What kind of leaders do their utmost to destroy the family, to divide families and friends and communities down the middle? It's unspeakable. The vitriol from our leaders, our health authorities, has trickled down to the population, and they have manipulated the citizens with fear, and they separated and isolated us. And it seemed like throughout the pandemic, the last 2 years, it was always in the week or two leading up to a big holiday. Yep. That the cases were going up and the fear was being spread. And it was this past Christmas when I believe it was the BC health official that said, you should not be inviting your unvaccinated family or friends over for Christmas or holidays to dinner. And nothing is worse than that. And in the lead up to Family Day, it could have been and should have been Canada's best Family Day ever. And Trudeau knew exactly what he was doing when he called the Emergency Act. He wanted to shut it down for Family Day. And I think the man needs to be called on it. And every single politician that did not get between us and the police on the front lines on Friday and Saturday, all those MPs that all spoke up for us after the fact, they all knew what was coming for us, and they did nothing. And they sent us there to the slaughter. And I say that because I know in my heart of hearts that if we had given them any opportunity, they would have beat us like dogs. And they had evil in their hearts, so many of them. So this is my message to the politicians. You guys need to think long and hard about how you have treated people who trusted you, who elected you, who had faith in you. And that's all I have to say about that.
Thank you, Michelle. That was much needed.
Yep.
All right. We're going to move on to Jim Kerr. Last minute here, Jim.
What would you like me to say?
Oh, nothing. Just if you wanted, we just want to hear you say that you love us. Maybe I don't know.
Oh my God, do I love you? Every single one of you, magnificent human beings. Honestly, you guys have done things that I didn't think was ever possible. We'd started a long time ago, and we'd done some things, and it seemed like everybody would take credit at some point in time, one leader or another, and then other people would follow that leader, and then that leader would do something stupid, and then they'd all fall away. This wasn't that. This was an incredibly unifying group of people that came from different places for different reasons and just decided to put it all on the line to help everybody else win. And the generosity, the kindness, the love and support. I mean, some dude showed up from England with envelopes of money and gave them away to people for 24 hours before he flew back to England because he wanted to make sure everybody knew how much we cared. Like, it, on and on and on. An incredible event. It will be replicated. It may not be duplicated, but it will be replicated. I'm pretty sure to the factor of 10 or maybe 10,000.
Love you, brother. To Todd McDougall, everyone. Any last words for you, Todd? And if you're on mute, you might want to pull that. If you're on here.
Todd might not be in here either.
Okay. Big Bear, any final words for you?
Absolutely. Can you guys hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you much clearer, actually.
Awesome. Good to hear. So, yeah, going back to that last video you played there with this politician lying, I get a kick out of these guys. You know, the truth always comes out in the end. You know, we've all walked hard roads in our lives, and we know when we don't speak truth, well, karma bites us in the ass. And if there's one thing I will pledge to do for the rest of my life, it will be to expose these corrupt politicians, to make sure they pay for their crimes against Canada, against humanity. This World Economic Forum, it's been so exposed during this entire convoy, this movement. It brings me so much joy that people are actually talking about it, and we can get to the root of all these problems, all the corruption, hold these politicians accountable, who's bought off, who's paid off, who's telling lies, and who is on our side and who's on the side of Canadians. And we will get to the end of it. And I know a lot of people, I want to say this to the people out there who are feeling a little defeated right now, or a little post-traumatic, you know, convoy. This is just the beginning, okay? This is just the beginning. The seeds are planted all over the world, and they are going to grow into these beautiful wildflowers that are going to flood the nations. There is hope spreading all over the world right now. We're going to take this story with us to all of our hometowns, all of our home cities, and we are going to shine the light all over this great nation. And there's going to be the most beautiful thing you've ever seen in your life happen. And this is just the beginning of it all. So God bless you all. I love you all. And this is it. We're full steam ahead.
You're a beautiful man. Love you too. Hey, Patricia, is there any parting words you want to leave us with here?
First time we went on stage, he was just like, "You're so humble." So I just wanted to make a quick note and follow up on what Colin had to say about, you know, like calling on our leadership and, you know, like our local politicians, our chiefs and our councils, you know, to start acting and start living through some of our traditional values and our teachings. And I was just pulling up on online here just because I don't want to miss any. And so we've got 7 teachings, and which is love, respect, courage, honesty, wisdom, humility, and truth. And I didn't want to miss any because sometimes I do miss them, and I want to be thorough and accurate. But I also want to speak from the heart and speak with truth as well, because that's just as important. And I want to call on Indigenous people or tribal people all across Canada to, you know, take the time to start seeing with our own eyes, start hearing with our own ears, and start leading with our heart again, and to start testing
thinking
the things that we've been taught in our potlatch systems or in our longhouses or in our sweat lodges. These are all the philosophies that we've been taught. And so what I'm going to ask for you to do is take the time to return back and do those same things again, so that we can be witness and be testimony to those things for our own selves, and not take the media. And then the other is a pretty strong message is, since when have we ever trusted the government as First Nations people here in Canada.
Yes.
And so, you know, like I want to bring that message back out into the community and back to our chiefs and back to our councils and our health directors all across Canada. And if we're going to look after our elders and our youth and our young people and look after the next 7 generations, this is what we need to start doing, is doing exactly that and trusting ourselves as tribal sovereign people in Canada. And I want to ensure that, or I want to also ask people to start connecting with your chiefs and your councils and your health directors and start asking some questions, start asking some hard questions, because it needs to be done. And I do not want to see any more of our people die. We have already witnessed enough Indigenous people all across Canada die from mental health issues, from suicide, from alcohol, from addiction, which is far greater than any COVID number in Canada. On top of poverty, homelessness, all of those things are growing in substantial numbers, not just for Indigenous people, but for non-Indigenous as well. And I think that if we were to all connect and unite the way that we did in Ottawa, we're going to see some major changes here in Canada. And so I'm just going to leave it on that. Oh, and the other thing as well, my recommendation to all of the leaders all across Canada is to make sure that you connect with your local clan mothers, to call on some of that wisdom and to acknowledge the unceded and sovereign territories that you're on. And, you know, and I didn't even take the time to acknowledge the traditional territory that I'm on right now. And I am ceded and I'm a visitor. I am a visitor to this territory. So that would be my recommendation, is connecting with local Indigenous people in your community and start building that relationship so that we can truly do some of that unity building, do some of that community building, and getting a greater and better understanding with one another. And because that's one thing that I had witnessed, I had seen from my own self, seen with my own eyes, heard with my own ears, is the fact that non-Indigenous people here in Ottawa, like everybody that I have met, they want to see First Nations people take up leadership roles. They want to see us taking up these positions. So
honoring the Indigenous.
And I just wanted to say one more small thing.
They can't hear
Sorry.
me, don't worry.
No worries.
So everybody on here, everyone needs to start stepping up into leadership positions. We need to start getting rid of these these career politicians, start running in our local ridings. If we have to form a new political party under the medicine wheel to represent all colors, all nations in this country, and serve all of us, that's what we'll do. But everyone needs to start being leaders. You know, and this goes for all Canadians. Use those beautiful voices. You are all equal. We are all equal under God, and we all have a voice. So start to use them. Start to learn. Let's start getting rid of these corrupt politicians. This is the only way out, and we must do it.
Clear the swamp.
Let's clear the swamp, ladies
Yes,
and
we
gentlemen.
got
Love
a
you
lot of
all.
swamp.
Thank you so much.
Independent representation. Independent representation.
Right on. Okay, Kristen. We'll
There. Hi. Sin, how can I follow that up? I think the most important thing that I would like to end with, because everyone has said such inspiring, beautiful comments, but that we need to take the lessons that we learned in Ottawa and take them back into our hearts, our homes, and our communities, and make this spread across Canada. So everything that we experienced in Ottawa, we can have in our own communities as well. And that's what we need to do. This isn't just like something that just happened in an isolated event in Ottawa. We need to create our communities. We need to create our parallel systems. Whatever, has been taken from us, all these corrupt systems, they're collapsing, they're crumbling right in front of our eyes. And this is our opportunity to start building new, to create the future that we want for ourselves and our future generations. Everything that's happening is absolutely amazing. I mean, when everyone said, let's go back to normal, who wanted to go back to that place we were living in before this happened? Because before the pandemic opened our eyes to the amount of corruption happening, we were still asleep. We're in our boxes at home, going to our boxes at work. We're isolated from our neighbors, isolated from our communities. This has been going on for a long time, and we needed this catastrophic event to wake us up, to get that fire under our butts, to bring us together as a community, as one, as all different cultures, race, backgrounds, differences, and realize that, hey, this was not working for us, and now it's our opportunity to start over and build the future we want for ourselves and our future generations. So I think it's amazing. We're still headed through some hardships and challenging times ahead of us, but through that brings out resiliency and strength, and we get to create again. So I'm looking forward to what all of us together are going to bring forward into our next future for future generations. And then Kyle, you're muted. I don't know if you're talking or not.
Kyle's muted.
I'm there. Now I'm talking. Thank you so much. We're so grateful that we have you. You've been at the front line and you are a machine. Sean, is Sean still on or is he gone? He's probably on the road here. Do we still have shots? Shots by Hill.
Looks like he's not in the room.
Okay. That leaves me, you guys. I'm going to end it off pretty easily. What I saw there was a microcosm on two different behalves, a microcosm on the world we want to create and a microcosm of the political and media issues that we have. So I think we need to take a big, long, hard look at whatever happened in Ottawa and pull it apart and see what we can do on the macro end of it. I'm going to leave it with that, but I want to get out there. Something I wrote down somewhere. Yeah, just a big thanks first off to everyone that showed up today, you guys. This was incredible. It was needed. It is now law. We are the experts on what happened in Ottawa. This is now the law as to what happened in Ottawa. All our footage that we're going to combine is going to be law. It's going to go into the history books. We're not letting the politicians write it, and we're not letting the media write it. Viewers, please, out there, you guys, this is an interactive one. We need you guys to send this stuff out. We need you all to do what we did the day that we stopped the senators from voting yes. Oh. Can you hear me? Yeah. Everything? Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I thought Rob was okay. We need you to get this out. We did that. You guys did that. The fact that everyone jumped in at that moment and flooded them with emails, that did it. I don't know if they looked at them, but they looked and saw they had 50,000 extra emails that day. So you guys, that's a big part. We need to get you out. We need this to get out as best as possible. As well, you guys, I've got an email, kyle@not.tv. Maybe we could throw that up on the screen there. We need some techie people. We know there's a lot of you guys out there. Email us if you can start gathering the footage, if you can do a little bit of the techie stuff behind the scenes right here. Not TV's in a position where it can start growing massively. Same with the other medias like Druthers and all of them. We need to take this over. We need to start running the show. We can no longer let mainstream media do what they're doing. They have destroyed. They're the head of the worm that we have to cut off. We're still aiming for the snake, and a lot of us know where they are. Yeah, so I'm going to bring Trav in here. So let me see if anything else. Oh, and so that everyone understands, this was part one. Next week on Monday at the same time, and we'll release that. We're going to do this with 12 of our amazing truckers that were there. So then this is all the evidence we need. But Trav, what was I bringing you on for?
I think you already said it all.
Oh, I did, about the techie people.
Yeah, but thanks. Great show, Kyle. We'll get all the bugs worked out for next time.
Hey, thank you guys. You guys are machines. They did this in like 3 nights, you guys. I don't think they slept. This has been fantastic. Okay, guys. Love you all.
Love you all, guys. Thank you
Good
so
day to
much.
be free, baby.
Yeah.
Freedom.
Big love, you guys.
Can you bring everybody on one screen? We need to take a picture.
Richard, just
Yes.
throw a
Yeah,
gallery
for
mode
sure.
up again.
And we need a group freedom.
Hold on, we're gonna get her on there.
How will I look?
There we go. This freedom!
Freedom!
Right on, you guys. Big love, everyone.
Thanks,
Signing
everybody. It's great to see you all. Love you.
Love you.
too.
I don't want to say goodbye.
Same here.
Beautiful, crazy.
Oh shit. That was Jim Carrey at the airport. Seemed like it worked. Thank you, Zach. I don't know you. In case I'm still alive. This is really me. It's a robotic remnant of what I did before.